Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. We're back with our review for Borat 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
The full title being Borat Subsequent Movie Film. Delivery of Prodigious Bride to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
Electric Boogaloo.
But we'll call it Borat 2 for short.
Yeah, it's definitely a much easier to pronounce title.
Yeah.
Especially since I keep accidentally calling it Kazakhstan every time I talk about it.
We'll get into we'll start off with our general thoughts, then we'll go into the synopsis, we'll break down the movie scene by scene.
And then we'll end it off with our kernel thoughts.
And we'll get into the controversy surrounding the movie. We'll talk about the things that were staged, and of course, we will discuss the infamous Rudy Giuliani scene. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Our social media is in the description, so you can follow us on, Twitter and whatnot. There's timestamps down below, so you can skip to whatever you'd like if you want to just hear the controversy surrounding the movie, or if you just want to hear about the things that were staged. That'll all be listed out down below. Before we get into the review, though, we will be playing a short ad that we recorded as part of a contest with Honey. You probably know about them. That will play, and then we'll get into the review. Like most people, I'm sure you guys have known these two people. There was the kid in math class that could program a bunch of cool games and all the formulas we were supposed to be learning into his calculator.
That kid was cool.
There was also the aunt that clipped coupons, and she always came in clutch for back to school season. She'd get you $50 off a backpack. Now, if only there was some product we could use that combined these two concepts.
Yeah, if only.
Well, the future is now. In this cyberpunk technological age, we have Honey. As part of the Sponsor Me Honey contest, we are going to tell you why you want Honey and how to use it.
Let's lay it out.
Honey is a Chrome extension that searches the web for the best coupons on major retail websites. Once it finds a batch of codes for you to use, it can automatically test those codes to find discounts on the items in your cart. Personally, I recently used Honey to save a few bucks on pizza.
I don't know if it works for stuff that I do, because I haven't had Honey before. Like, this is all new to me, this whole system. But the thing I do a lot in my free time when I'm not doing the podcast and stuff is I paint miniatures, like little model kits and stuff. And those usually are like really expensive. Like, they're just like the little miniatures, like a 2-inch figurine is like $20 to $50 depending on like size and what the character is of. So it's like, if there's a way to save money on that, like, I totally take that. My money's tight and my hobbies are very expensive.
You see, I've been thinking about possibly getting G Fuel, and Honey has actually had some pretty good deals where I could save up to like $20 on some of it when it was usually like $60 or $40.
And you, the listener, can soon taste the sweet savings. If you want to start saving money with Honey, go to joinhoney.com/besthoneyad to add Honey to your browser. So let's just jump right into it. So, Jared, what are your general thoughts on Borat 2?
I thought the first Borat was good when I look back on it, but then I start to remember how much I hate that voice.
My life.
Watching that movie, I had to pause it several times to leave the room because that accent fake voice thing he does, it's just, I hate it so much. So fucking annoying.
What, you don't like it when he says my wife?
I don't like it when he talks. It's like, hello, I am Borat. I'm from another country.
You don't get it.
Jews.
He's foreign. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I really hate that voice he does. But I think it was a good movie. It was funny. There's a lot of scenes I didn't like just because, like, I don't know. I just get like this feeling of like when when you're watching a cringy video and it's like, oh, no. I kept getting a lot of those vibes, but that's just because these are situations that I would probably not want to be in, that these people are putting themselves in.
Yeah, I guess, but that's how all of Sacha Baron Cohen's movies are.
I know, and I just don't like feeling like that when watching a movie. Like, I get that with some movies where it's like, the main character's embarrassing himself. And it's like, ooh, I get secondhand embarrassment from that. I get secondhand embarrassment from Sacha Baron Cohen. Every time I see him, I'm just, ooh, it's Cohen. But yeah, no, it's a good movie. I recommend it. It's fun to watch.
I mean, it's got a lot of good goofs, I think. I watched the original, and then like the next day I watched the subsequent Moviefilm. And really comparing the two, I think Borat subsequent Moviefilm really lives up to the hype of the original.
I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad in any way. I'm just saying, like, in my opinion, it's not my personal cup of tea.
Like, on a scale of like Anchorman 2 to Empire Strikes Back, I'd say it's pretty close to an Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'd say it's a Halo 2.
Now, no sequel will ever get to the level of like a Shrek 2.
That's impossible. You can't perfect perfection.
That's a conversation for another day, but Shrek 2 is objectively the best sequel ever.
You know what? Fuck it. We're going to go into that rant. I'm telling you right now, there is no way in hell you can make a sequel that's better than Shrek 2. That movie made a remake of a song, and I can't even listen to the original one without feeling let down. I know this is a review for Borat 2, but watch Shrek 2. Please, I beg of you. I know you've all seen it before. Just do it again.
Yeah, just watch it this time with your film analysis brain instead of your little kid brain.
No, just watch it. I don't care if you even think about it. I don't care if you guys are just having sex during it, because that's what most people probably do, because it's such a great movie. Don't waste your time doing that, though. Shrek 2 is better than sex, than Shreks.
Just watch it just so it can get another view on Netflix or whatever it's on.
I want you to pull out the disc and shove it into your stupid fucking brain. I love you, viewers.
So anyway, back to Borat 2.
Back to not Shrek 2.
A lot of people have been saying this, but Maria Bakalova, the actress that plays Borat's daughter.
Oh.
She did an incredible job. She's an amazing actress.
Yeah, she almost got solicited by an actual U.S. politician.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, she gave an amazing performance. She was very convincing in her role. I mean, it would have been pretty easy for her to like, just kind of drown in Sacha Baron Cohen's shadow. But she really like held her own throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, no, she was great. One of the best child actors I've seen in a while.
Well, she's actually 24, so.
Oh, I thought she was actually 12. She is such a tiny person. Fucking hell.
And that is why it's okay for Rudy Giuliani to masturbate in her presence. Duh.
No, it is not. I can promise you.
We will get into that later.
Yes. Not Rudy Giuliani. I don't think anyone wants to get into that.
Yeah, of course. No. That's why he does what he does. Anyway, Borat 2. It was really fun watching the movie. Not just because it's a good movie, but also like recognizing scenes that we have actually seen before, like in the news.
Yeah, such
like,
as the KKK guy going to the Republican convention,
or the guy that ran in during Mike Pence's speech dressed as Donald Trump carrying a woman. Turned out it was Borat.
Who knew? Yeah,
we'll also get into that. We'll get into that more later. Those events. Yeah. So, do you have any more general thoughts before we get into the synopsis?
Not really. I can talk about more stuff as we continue with the synopsis, though.
All right. Yeah, so we'll break it down scene by scene. We'll give our 2 cents on each bit that they do as we go along. We'll have timestamps down below, so if you want to skip the synopsis and just get to our other topics, then you can do that.
There's a Borat joke you want us to talk about. Just skip to it.
Just you can we'll release a cut of this that's just us saying my wife
every sentence. Will you be my black wife? No.
So anyway, going into the synopsis, so the movie starts with Borat disgraced, working in the gulag, and he has to he's commissioned to take Johnny the Monkey, Kazakhstan's #1 actor / porn star, to Mike Pence, America's #1 pussy hound. So they both get shipped to America in a very roundabout way, which we'll get into at the end. Borat is recognized in the streets because, of course, he is. Everyone knows my wife.
Yes.
So he has to go in disguise throughout most of the rest of the movie. So he goes to a costume store, buys out their entire stock. Then he is disguised as an American, and we get our first interview bit. It's in a tech store. The guy at the store is teaching him how to do FaceTime, and you see like he's walking him through basically how to operate a smartphone. Porn ensues. It's a very it's a pretty funny bit, I think. I mean, even if it wasn't in Borat, like on its own, it's a pretty funny sketch.
Oh yeah. Just a foreign guy comes in. How to use phone? Oh, there's your brother's inside phone. There's one thing though. That was supposed to be an interview. Was he in on it the whole time or no? Because like I know at the end of the movie that guy comes back, and it's in the part that's fictional.
I don't know. I've done a little bit of research into this movie, just ahead of this recording.
Yeah,
and I haven't really seen anything about that yet, but I would assume that he was kind of let in on the bit after they shot the bit, with the smartphone.
Yeah.
They probably reached out later and they were like, "Hey, we need you to record an additional thing to add on at the end of the movie," or I don't know. They're always very selective with what information they actually present to their victims. I mean, interviewees.
What if he came up to them and was like, "Hey, can you put me in it again? I want to do more."
So for the next story beat, we get Borat awaiting the arrival of Johnny the Monkey. But we find out when the shipping crate is opened that it was actually his daughter, Tutar. I don't know how you say it with not a Kazakhstan accent. Tutar, my wife,
Tutar.
So anyway, Borat's daughter, it turns out, ate Johnny the Monkey, or not. It's really left open ended.
No.
Anyway, someone has eaten Johnny the Monkey. We're not pointing fingers, but now that puts
it was Borat.
That puts Borat in a bit of a predicament. So he goes and he does another interview bit. This time it's with a guy operating a fax machine. So he has a conversation with Kazakhstan's premier, and they do a little back and forth thing. It's a funny thing. The guy sends a dick pic. It's all
over
good,
a fax
good
machine.
Goofs. Yeah.
So great.
So it ends up being decided that Borat's daughter is going to be given as a wife to Mike Pence instead of Johnny the Monkey. So she needs a makeover, and that's when we get the introduction to the Kazakhstan daughter manual. which is
How to raise a child
yeah,
the right
specifically a
way.
female child.
Yes, only them. They're the only ones that need it.
Yeah. But yeah, that book is pretty integral to the plot throughout a lot of the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
But then after that, we get another interview bit with the at a farm and fleet store. Borat is buying a cage for his daughter, asking questions about how much propane it takes to kill a group of gypsies, and the worker is surprisingly unfazed
I
by
feel like
this
he gets that
interaction.
I feel like he gets that question a lot. It is a farm and fleet. You have to remember that.
That's true. I don't know. I just feel like out of all the oppressed groups, gypsies are like the most
least,
like
or the
ye olde kind of oppressed group.
Yeah, but they're not white.
Anyway, after Borat gets his daughter a cage, like a responsible father, we get another interview bit with Tutar, my wife, interviewing a supposed sugar baby, which we will also get into later.
We're not going to get into her later.
Yeah, I should rephrase that. We're going to delve into that topic a little bit more.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't want to get the viewers' hopes up.
Then she goes to the hairdresser, gets the old dog, the bounty hunter treatment.
Hell yeah. I like your cut, G.
Yeah. Then she then they go to a dress store, and she's gonna try on a dress, then she comes out wearing the bag, which I don't know. I feel like I find that too funny. Like, I feel like I think it's funnier than it is.
Wearing the bag?
Yeah. I don't know. That just
I thought it was kind of funny. I didn't think it was like
I don't know,
drop dead screaming into the floor laughing. But
I don't know. It just tickles me, I got a good hearty laugh out of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you wear a bag, it'll probably tickle you.
You know what I meant, you bastard.
I know exactly what you meant.
So after that, Borat takes his daughter to a cake shop. He has to get a cake for his premiere. Gets Jews Will Not Replace Us iced onto the top of it, and the baker is very unfazed by that also.
Yeah, she seems slightly uncomfortable, but just like, fuck it.
She probably honestly
gets that a lot.
She probably gets that a lot, yeah.
Like, same shit, different day.
Yeah, the only difference is that it's someone with a funny accent.
Yeah, that was probably what took her aback.
Usually they got more a drawl. After that, Borat puts a baby in Tutar, and
then
so I
feel like you should probably explain that a bit. Don't just leave it at that.
I simply refuse. Borat puts a baby in her.
Yeah, Borat puts a baby in his daughter, and they go to a crisis hotline teacher.
They go to like a women's health clinic, and for some reason
run by a male pastor.
A male pastor is running the abortion section.
Yeah,
because fucking Texas. So anyway, that
was
bit
funny.
is,
I actually really liked that bit.
Yeah, they use that one a lot for marketing.
I can see why.
Rightly so. It was pretty good. It's a funny little goof.
Oh yeah. Hold on. She keeps saying that you're father, and you're saying she's daughter. Are you related? Yeah.
He's like, now you refer to her as your daughter. This is like some freaky role play shit, right?
No.
Okay, well, I don't get paid enough to unwrap that. So let's just I'll give you the standard God planned this. Even though in this instance it's a little messed up to say that, but mysterious ways and whatnot.
God
I gotta
works
go to lunch.
In mysterious ways.
Sometimes God is just like, I'm gonna get a 15-year-old pregnant with
By their father.
yeah, because I'm mysterious.
God's not like other girls.
God's an unstable bitch.
Yeah, God's just they're just having a day, aren't they?
Anyway, back to the movie. We get a high society bit, very reminiscent of the first Borat movie, this time with creepy old men making comments about a 15-year-old girl.
And how much they'd pay for her.
We'll also get into that bit a little bit later, also because there is a bit of behind the scenes detail that's worth getting into.
Yes.
So then they do the moon blood dance. That goes over about how you would expect it to.
Yeah, I called that was gonna happen. I'm starting to notice a pattern with a lot of their things where it's like, think of something that'd be kind of gross to see in public. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah. After the moon blood dance, they're like, what are we gonna do? And then Borat finds out about CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. I
Yeah.
think, I don't know, I'm not gonna bother fact checking that. Hijinks ensue. We get the KKK oopsie daisy and Borat in Trump cosplay, which is
Yes.
another which is one of the things we mentioned at the start. How we saw articles and stuff about that in the news. We just didn't know it was Borat.
How could you have known?
Yeah,
He's wearing a fucking hood.
I mean, I remember when this first happened.
People
I
were
never
freaking
saw
out. They're like, "This is confirmed."
I might have seen one tweet about the KKK thing, but at the time I was just like, that's conservatives. But
On my secret Twitter, I saw fucking 20 of them. It was insane. It's like, there's KKKs in the conservative thing.
and it's like, yeah, you didn't know?
Oh, yeah.
But I remember when when CPAC happened and there were stories in the news about someone burst in during Mike Pence's speech and they were dressed like Donald Trump and they were carrying a woman, and I remember some people were like, is that Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yeah.
But no one knew. Apparently they didn't ID him as security was escorting him out.
Probably paid them off. Good old I almost said Kazakhstan money.
Cuz you keep saying Kazakhstan.
Am I not saying it right?
It's Kazakhstan. But I'm probably not. I'm probably not saying it right.
It's a fake country. Does it matter?
It's actually a real country.
You're fucking shitting me. It's real.
Yeah.
How do they feel with Borat saying he lives there?
Well, I was going to bring this up later, but I guess we'll just get into it now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did not know that this was a real country.
Kazakhstan is a real country in the Middle East, and they were very upset after the first Borat movie because, obviously that movie made them look pretty bad. But I guess now after the sequel came out, they've grown a sense of humor, and now their tourism slogan is very nice.
Oh my god, you told me about this. Holy shit, I completely forgot that you told me about this already. How do I forget an entire country exists?
I mean, I forget that Wyoming exists a lot.
I mean, that's
oh wait, no, it doesn't. Wyoming doesn't exist.
But that's the thing, though. At least that is a made-up state and not an actual place.
Yeah,
in
God,
the real world.
Imagine if Wyoming was real. Oh, I can't even say that with a straight face.
Yeah, it's such a fake fucking place. Can you believe people believe it's real?
I know. I have a friend that
they insist he lives in Wyoming.
He has brought up how he's gone on vacation to Wyoming, and it's like, come on, you don't need to do this just for the attention.
It's like, come on, dude. We're all in on the
Wyoming
joke.
isn't
You don't gotta
real.
do
It
this.
can't hurt you.
Yeah. People are getting dumb nowadays, though.
Anyway,
So yeah,
back to
where
the
does
movie.
Borat 2 takes place anyways? I don't remember what states he was in. Was it just Washington?
It was like along the south. I
Ah.
think he landed in Texas and then he made his way to Washington.
Oh,
DC,
yeah.
that is.
I do want to point out, I thought it was really funny, but they have at the beginning when he's going to America, they have a little like little thing play where you see the boat dropping off all these different places before it takes him to where he's supposed to go. And they
Yeah.
stop in Maine at one point, and then they continue on down to Texas. Like he lands at America, but then he goes to another spot, and that's where he decides to go even
Well, of
further
course.
from his goal.
So anyway, after CPAC happens, targets shift because Mike Pence, that bridge is burned. It appears that he would not accept this 15-year-old as his wife after all, especially after what happened at CPAC. So the crosshairs immediately shift to Rudy Giuliani, quite infamously so.
They go through a bunch of Republicans, and it's like, this guy's in jail, arrested, jail. Hey, he's available.
Yeah, Giuliani is like the one Republican left that's not either in jail or indicted on something
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good, we're gonna bring that up.
Yeah, we will get into the Giuliani scene after we're done with the synopsis. So
yes.
the next interview bit that they do is Tutar is going to get plastic surgery, and when they're doing the consultation, the surgeon is alarmingly
weirdly okay with it.
Yeah, alarmingly comfortable with casual anti-Semitism.
Mm-hmm. And he's also like very upfront with like how he would have sex with Tutar if her dad wasn't there.
Well, I mean, it's like begrudging, but it's like still you don't have to do that. So, but yeah, it Borat is like, now will you give her nose of Jew? And I'm not good at the voice, but
Yeah.
he's like, well, actually, Jews' noses are like this, and it's like,
yeah, he just he's
don't
not like,
play
oh
along.
no. But I think that's what I like about Borat, though. He really helps you see the worst in most people.
That's yeah. That's like in the first movie when he actually at the rodeo when he was talking to that old man and he got his guard down so much that he got the guy to admit, like, yeah, we just want to hang gay people in this country.
Yeah. God damn, Sasha. You've done it again.
So anyways, the surgery costs too much. They're like $70 short. So Borat has to raise $70 in 24 hours. So he leaves Tutar with a babysitter. Borat does some barbershop stuff. Not much really happens with that. Meanwhile, the babysitter is giving Tutar a pep talk. And by the way, Janice Jones, the woman that is the babysitter in the movie, amazing person, absolute saint, because this whole time she thinks that this is like a real documentary.
Yeah.
And she does her darndest to get this girl to rethink her life decisions. And
He's
it's
like, hey, you don't have to, sell yourself into basically slavery.
It's like, this woman was not paid enough for what she did. But we'll get into that later also. So after Tutar receives that pep talk, she decides not to go through with the surgery. She goes next door to a Republican feminist meeting, which is
just
itself
an oxymoron.
Yeah, it's an oxymoron. And she converses with them. She learns that women can drive cars and like own property and stuff. Then she starts to rethink some of the stuff in this daughter manual. So she goes to the bathroom
masturbates.
And she touches her vagine, and
oh my god,
she realizes like, hey,
I didn't get sucked into my own vagina.
Yeah, it turns out I'm not housing a black hole in my crotch.
But I am. Y'all better be thankful.
Jared, you're just built different.
I am. I am built as the prison for the destroyer of worlds.
So after Tutar has this awakening and rises like a phoenix from the ashes, she goes back to the Republican feminist meeting. She goes up on stage and she basically walks them through her experience, and they are very concerned, I'd say, with what is happening. So
Yeah.
they're like, let's get her out of here. So then after that, we get the breakup scene where Tutar confronts Borat on just everything.
Like, hey, I'm a human being. Borat's like, nah, you're not my wife.
So they go their separate ways. Tutar goes on to become a reporter, which is what she's been wanting to do.
And Borat lives with a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah. So Borat goes and does an anti-Semitism. He meets a survivor of the
Oh, that's
Holocaust
right. I
in a
forgot about that
synagogue.
part. Yeah, dressed
And,
as like Satan mixed with a Jewish stereotype.
It's like fully a Jewish stereotype with like, the long prosthetic nose and like the
Yeah.
little
But he
like
also is
curly
like
cues.
wearing fucking like devil tail and like horns and shit.
Well, that's like what anti-Semites think Jews look like.
They
Like,
think Jews
like
look
that-
like the devil.
That's exactly what the Nazi propaganda looked like.
Oh, you see, I don't really look at Nazi propaganda that often, so I wouldn't know.
What, you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit?
No, don't spoil anything yet. I still have to watch it.
That movie came out like a year and a half ago.
I don't watch movies, Alex. This should have been an experience. I have a problem where it's like, I want to see a movie, but when it comes to actually watching, it's like, no. I have really bad time investment issues.
Jared, this is unrelated, but you have to watch Jojo Rabbit.
I will. I do really want to see it. I want to see Taika Waititi as Hitler.
It's a sight. It's a sight, I gotta tell you. So anyway, Borat gets a stern talking to from a Holocaust survivor. And he gets the entirely wrong idea from it.
She wasn't a stern talking though. She seemed like she was genuinely concerned for him.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? Power to her.
Yeah, the woman in that scene is an absolute saint.
Yeah, no, she's
yeah,
fucking...
we will get into that later because there's a whole story surrounding that.
Yeah. Like this movie, there's a whole story surrounding it, and I keep accidentally sidetracking it.
So after Borat finds out that the Holocaust did indeed happen, which is like his country's pride.
Ecstasy to him.
Yeah. It's fictional Kazakhstan's like
number one holiday.
Yeah. Real life Kazakhstan, probably around number 5.
Wow. I've never been, so I don't know.
During the events of this movie, COVID ensues, and Borat's like, "Hey, where is everyone?" And then he meets a bearded fellow outside of a convenience store, and he's like, "Hey, can I stay with you?" And he's like,
"Sure,
fuck it."
Yeah. Now I have to admit, when they did the thing where he walks into his house and he's got all the hunter stuff and the fuck around and find out snake hanging over the mantle, I was really like dreading the next few scenes because I figured they were just gonna be the worst. They weren't like they still were just, stereotypical Republicans, but I don't know. I feel like they had some charm to them.
Yeah.
They weren't the worst they could have been.
Yeah, there's what, 2 of them?
Yeah, it's Jerry and Jeff.
Yeah, so these are like full-on QAnon conspiracy believers.
They have the don't tread on me snake like just hanging right above their fucking doorway. So you know that they probably have joined a few militia groups.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They look like the Unite the Right rally.
Yeah. But no, they befriend Borat.
Yeah, and they teach him that the Clintons
Created COVID.
and they drink the blood of children in order to stay young.
Yeah.
And Democrats, of course, are more dangerous than COVID.
Look, I'm gonna get a little off real quick, but have you seen Hillary Clinton before?
Just in general?
Yeah, like you've seen her face, right? What she looks like?
Yes.
She is not containing eternal youth in any shape or form. If she is drinking the blood of children to stay young, then she needs to find a different source.
She's drinking the blood of the wrong children.
She's drinking the blood of children born in 1902.
She's like drinking the blood of diabetic children.
Yeah. The bad blood. Bad blood kids.
No, you know who's even worse off? Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton in the last 20 years, he's aged like 80 years.
Speaking about like really old like famous people, have you seen Prince Harry? Motherfucker looks like his skin's about to melt off his face. It's horrifying.
The ghoul.
Yeah, the Ghoul King.
How's it going, smooth skin?
How you doing, smooth skin? Me and my wife are going out. I'm married to the Queen of England.
So, he actually, Borat, or Sacha Baron Cohen actually lived with these people for like a straight week and had to stay in character the entire time.
That is just a testament. Like, I don't think I could have. I would have like broken down at some point. It's like, I'm not this guy.
I know. I don't know how long I could have gone before I'm like, you are wrong.
Oh my God.
So anyway, they find out that Tutar will be at a conservative March for Our Rights rally. So
one of the dumbest things.
Borat sees this as his opportunity to go and reunite with her.
Back.
Yeah. And that's where we get the Country Steve bit. That was another one that we saw in the news long before this movie came out. I think from the videos that I've seen on it, like when it happened, there were some news channels that covered it, and the general like consensus was like, oh, this is for Sacha Baron Cohen's show, Who is America?
Yeah.
But nope, turned out it was Borat 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Like all of the bits in this movie, this one turned out to be Borat 2.
God damn it.
So anyway, after we get the hit song Wuhan Flu, they get chased out. There's actually footage of Sacha Baron Cohen like jumping into their van and being like, drive, because there's like a whole like bunch of people that are like basically like running him out.
Yeah.
Like he feared for his life in that moment. But yeah, anyway, they leave the rally. Borat doesn't reunite with his daughter. He has to go back to the babysitter to get some things.
Yes.
And the babysitter tells Borat,
tells
go
him
to
off.
work.
She's like,
Yeah.
you're a fucking shit. Don't put your daughter in something she don't want.
Yeah. And then she's like, go to her, tell her how you feel. Go before her flight takes off, before she goes to New York for art school.
It's not art school she's going to, but okay.
It's that classic bit where the guy runs to the airport, gets through the TSA because the movie came out before 9/11, and then he's like, I've loved you all along.
And then she's like, okay, fam, fucking simp, and then leaves.
Anyway, then we get the infamous Rudy Giuliani interview.
Oh, yes.
I feel like we should just get through the rest of the synopsis before we get into this bit specifically. Yep. But yeah, Rudy Giuliani gets interviewed by Tutar and
shit goes down.
Yeah, hijinks ensue. Borat bursts in and he's like, no, she's 15. She's too old for you, which I thought was pretty funny. Then they reunite. Then they go back to Kazakhstan. Conspiracy ensues. Turns out
Borat is responsible for the coronavirus.
It turns out the coronavirus was inside of him all along.
Like, literally.
The true coronavirus was the friends you made along the way, because you spread it to them.
Borat just kills just hundreds.
And then basically Borat and Tutar blackmail the premier into like making
Becoming,
Kazakhstan better.
Yeah.
And then they're both reporters for Kazakhstan TV. Running of the Jew turns into running of the American.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone lives happily ever after.
I mean, except for all the people he did kill.
Yeah.
Like they're people died.
In a weird way, this movie retcons COVID because like now it's not really Trump's fault as much. Now it's just, Borat's fault.
I'm blaming Sacha Baron Cohen like entirely. He killed us all. Why'd you do it? No, one thing I do want to mention though, I feel like is a big thing that we haven't talked about. Everyone was just surprisingly okay. Like a whole bunch of them were okay with the idea of Borat just, selling his daughter to a famous Republican person.
Yeah.
Like they didn't see any problem with it. It's like, oh yeah, this is something that sane people do.
Well, yeah, that's the
it's not
magic of Sacha Baron Cohen's filmmaking.
But like the thing is, though, I don't want people to like take this as like, oh yeah, she's taking her to see a Republican. It's bad. He was going to sell her as a sex slave to a famous Republican, and no one batted an eye.
Well, hey, he wasn't offering her as a sex slave. He was offering her as a wife to a famous Republican politician. Doesn't particularly matter which one, but actually, now that I think about it, wife to a Republican and sex slave aren't that different.
Yeah.
At least the sex slave is allowed to get an abortion.
Oh, yeah.
And that is bold of me to say. Hot takes galore. Subscribe.
That take was so hot, it's almost spicy. But no, I'm serious.
I burnt my hands on that hot take. Bringing it out of the oven because I need oven mitts for that hot take.
I just thought it was so weird that no one once, besides the babysitter, decided to try and stop Borat from selling his daughter into wedlock.
Yeah.
That's not a thing we have in this country, guys.
He's a wacky foreigner. What you gonna do? Inject him with the Wuhan flu.
Oh, fuck off. No. But yeah, no, that's one thing I wanted to bring up. A lot of the people who were okay with it also Republicans. So I guess we know where they get their wives.
I mean, mail order brides even they're not common, I guess, but I mean, they're more accepted than you'd think.
I wouldn't know because I don't have one.
So, Jared, do you want to get into the controversy surrounding this movie?
Oh, yes. There's a whole lot of it.
Boy, is there a lot.
There's all the fun controversy that happened just because no one knew it was Borat. Now, that's fun to look back on. But there's also controversy involving some of the people in it because of they feel like they were either lied to or that Borat, is dishonest with some of the stuff he's portrayed people as. Like, for example, I know Republicans are trying to sue him because he went to their meeting as a KKK member and none of them cared up until it was revealed it was Sacha Baron Cohen. Like in the video, you see some people look over at him. No one yells at him for wearing it.
Well, he gets some he gets some looks
stares.
for it.
Yeah, but I feel like instead of them being angry, oh my god, why is this guy here stares? They're like, wait, we can do that now?
Yeah, so we're recording this on November 1st. Yesterday was Halloween.
Merry
as
Christmas.
Time works. So I do a little bit of cosplay as a hobby, just something to keep my hands busy. And I recently made a Spider-Man mask, which I'm very proud of, and I think it looks pretty good. And I wanted to wear it into Meijer yesterday because we were Haley and I were getting some nice late night Halloween candy.
Hell yeah!
And I was like, I should wear this in there because it's Halloween, and I think it looks cool and I want to show it off. But then getting out of the car, I was like, I should just leave it. I don't want to it's a whole thing.
You don't want to attract attention to yourself?
I don't want to be the one person wearing a costume, I guess.
No, I get that.
But like once we were in there, I was like, maybe I should have worn it. I think that's how the people felt seeing Sacha Baron Cohen in the KKK outfit.
There's like, you know what? Maybe I should have brought it in.
Well, if he gets to wear a costume, I should get to.
He gets to dress up as a spooky ghost
So
in July.
So you were I haven't heard a lot about this, so you were telling me that there's actually a lawsuit being filed over this?
Yeah, I looked it up when we were getting ready to start filming. Apparently a bunch of them they're trying to do a lawsuit against him. Hold on, let me see if I can find the article again.
All right.
But it seems like they're trying to do it because of slander, because he comes in and says he's someone who I don't really know. I'm sorry, I don't keep up with most like Republican lore. But on CPAC and its organizers immediately cease and desist from any content filmed during CPAC in which Borat or another member of the Borat 2 crew enter dressed as a Ku Klux Klan member. In the latter, the ACU's representatives write, any implications of KKK-style hatred would be welcome at CPAC as false and malicious. He has a hotel room he just goes into, and no one stops him.
So when was this filed? Was this filed like right when it happened?
It's saying that they might do it. They don't have it filed yet, but it's saying that
oh, okay,
like
so
they're
like
planning on it. CPAC threatens legal action against Borat. Here's Fox
yeah,
News.
so they're waiting to just kind of feel it out, like, we'll wait and see how much this movie grosses at the box office. Then we'll see how much we can sue for.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
They're all a bunch of welfare queens, I tell you. Fucking conservatives.
You're not wrong. But yeah, no. So it doesn't seem like there's an actual lawsuit going on for that yet. But they are really angry about, it being shown that they just let a KKK member stroll through CPAC.
Yeah, I think they're more offended that it made them look bad.
Yeah.
They're not mad that it happened. They're mad that it got broadcast to the nation.
They're mad that now they're associated with the KKK again.
I mean, were they ever not associated with the KKK on some level?
Oh, yeah, no. It's hard to say that you're not KKK when your hood's, like, underneath your fucking shirt.
Well, it's like, you got to take it as a wake-up call. If the leader of the KKK is, like, on your side, ideologically speaking, it's like, the Democrats are so bad, but the KKK sides with us on most issues.
It's like, would you say the Nazis are something you want to have with you? Because here's a plot twist, Republicans. They were socialists.
I mean, not even. They used.
No, Alex, don't explain it. Don't explain it. Just say they were socialists, and they'll kill each other in the infighting.
Yeah, no, totally. Don't whatever you do, don't look up the way that the Nazis misappropriated the word socialism.
No, smart people would know. That was mean, but you know what? I'm standing by that. Smart people would know. Like the history of Nazis.
Yeah, because only smart people know the deep inner workings of World War II. So anyway, more controversy surrounding the movie.
Yes. One of the old lady, the Jewish old woman who is a trooper, her family, like, she passed away after, like, her scenes were done and stuff. And her family tried suing because they wanted more money out of it, because they said that they felt that her things were misinterpreted or whatever, misappropriated.
Yeah, so it was actually so the woman's name is Judith Dim Evans, and her daughter actually sued, I think they sued Amazon and the I forget the name of the production company, but Amazon and the production company that made the movie, because she feels that they misappropriated her likeness. But there's actually more to it. The woman Judith Dim Evans, she was actually pulled aside after they filmed that scene, and I believe
they
it was
explained it to
one
her?
of it was one of the producers that explained it to her. Like, yeah, we're doing like we're doing a movie,
different
and it's like
thing.
it's we're this is a character. We're trying to kind of expose anti-Semitism for how, you know, goofy it is. Thank you so much for your part in this. Because, you know, Sacha Baron Cohen himself is Jewish, so he uses his character Borat to kind of poke fun at anti-Semitism, and, you know, basically be like, isn't it so goofy that they think Jews control the media and have long noses and have, you know, they have secret devil horns and stuff. And
Yeah,
it's like,
it's satire.
yeah. Because, yeah, like reading about like Nazis' ideas of like what Jews are like, it's a lot like reading like Skyrim lore.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. It's like Norwegian troll folklore. Just insane. Now, that was just so I can get people to look into Norwegian troll lore, because that shit is tight.
So yeah, that whole interaction was actually filmed where they're telling her what's going on. So, you know, there's
for legal
actual
reasons.
evidence. There's evidence that she, you know, basically
Consented to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the case was filed in Georgia, and the judge didn't agree that they should be, you know, that
Sued.
legal action. Yeah, they didn't agree that they should be sued. So the case got dropped, and that's that.
There's another one though, involving the babysitter. What was her name again? Something Jones?
Janice Jones, who was
Janice
paid
Jones.
$3,600 for her appearance in the movie.
To be honest though, like, I know they were saying that wasn't a lot, but like $3,600, like for 2 scenes in a movie, shit, I'd do it for 500. I don't know like the value of like how acting is, but
Well, it's not quite that simple, because, as you know, a movie, like the time that it takes to put in that the time that you put into a movie making it is a lot longer than what you see,
oh yeah,
obviously. She had to like actually, you know, babysit this woman.
yeah, that's a good point.
Not only was she, you know, taking part in what she thought was a documentary, she was also actually, you know, taking care of this supposed 15-year-old girl. So she has to be paid for her labor as a babysitter, and she should be compensated for her part in this movie. And she does play a pretty integral role in the plot. So, you know, you can say like part of the reason that the movie did so well was her. You could argue
Yeah.
that. So she should get a larger sum than what she's getting.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I guess it's just my concept of money. It's like,
Yeah.
because like $3,600 to me, that's fucking. That would be 12 paychecks.
It's a lot for like the 30 to 40 minutes that she's in the movie, however long it is. It's maybe it's less than that.
I think she's in for like 20 minutes, because she's in
Yeah.
for like 2-minute skit, and then she's got like a 5-minute skit, and then she's talking
Yeah.
to Borat.
So
that's
yeah,
like 12 minutes.
3,600 is of course a lot for I guess the 20 minutes that she's in it.
But
they
there
didn't
is a lot
just
of
film
behind the
20
scenes
minutes.
stuff. Yeah, there's that too.
This is actually filmed like a documentary, so they shoot hours and hours of footage, and then they narrow it down to what they end up. They narrow it down to what ends up being in the final cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, after there was some backlash over that, Sacha Baron Cohen actually reached out, and he offered to donate $100,000 to, you know, whatever cause she wanted, and she picked her community church. And that money is specifically going to be used for like food and water and like shelter, because I guess they've had a lot of like ice storms, I think, from what I remember from the article.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I got the article up right now. There's actually a quote from the pastor, Derek Scobie. He said, "I was blown away but not surprised because I was told about the type of heart this man has." He said, "Maybe it's a little risque, some of the things in the movie, but he has a good heart. The donations," he said, "will help the community following recent struggles with power outages and ice storms."
Yeah. Good guy, Borat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he leaves a wake of destruction with his movies usually, but at least he
For a
he'll
good cause.
he'll do what he can to kind of help clean it up.
Yeah.
Now the pastor in addition actually set up a GoFundMe for Janice Jones, the babysitter, and that ended up raising $144,000.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, and it's especially helpful. It's especially helpful for her because, like as of that movie and as of like recent articles written about her, she's unemployed. So
Wait, really?
yeah, probably related to the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's hard to be a babysitter when we're all supposed to stay home.
Yeah, and I don't even know if that's like her main job or whatever. But yeah, $144,000, incredible.
Today's
Incredible,
economy,
helpful
having
thing.
one job? Ha 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 ha. I'd have more than one job if my job wasn't so life stealing.
I also had this written down. The Country Steve bit was very funny, objectively. However, some people had the wrong opinion about it. A lot of people, I guess, conservatives were saying like, "Oh, this isn't funny. This isn't. We don't at all agree or condone with what he's saying," but they were singing along.
Yeah, they're singing along, laughing, clapping. He's just basically reading what I see people post all the time on Facebook.
Obama, what we gonna do? Inject him with the Wuhan flu.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
no,
song is such a banger. I hope they released it on Spotify.
But no, like, thing is though, like, I think most of those lyrics were just things they stole from some old guy's Facebook page. I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, when that was filmed, there were actually some people that were very upset about it, and they chased him out. And there's footage of him getting into the van like very hurriedly and like panicking, and he's like, "Drive, drive, drive! Like, get us the fuck out of here!"
I mean, if I was at a rally like that, I too would be like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here now.
Yeah. Now,
Gotta go to a Republican rally.
I only had this written down under controversy because I didn't know where else to put it. But the sugar baby from early on in the movie,
Is an actress.
yeah, she's actually an actress. She's not a real sugar baby. She's financially independent. So yeah, she got an email basically, offering a role in, I guess, what she thought was a documentary. Hold on, I have an article about it. So this is a quote from an article which we will have linked under additional resources. She said she stumbled into the film when she received a, quote, well-crafted email about a role for, quote, original programming, where she was supposed to help a foreigner learn the ropes of dating in the United States. According to this article, it says that she understood pretty quickly that it was pretty much like a comedy, and then she found out that she's in Borat 2. I think she took it pretty well.
I mean, yeah, no. If you were in Borat 2, like if you just found out randomly, like, oh, hey, that comedy you were in, it's Borat 2, you'd probably be like, oh, that's shit, yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like she's like offended that it presented her as a sugar baby because that was the part she was playing.
Yeah.
So the last thing we have written down under controversy is Kazakhstan. Like we mentioned earlier, they didn't quite appreciate the first Borat movie. They didn't like how it presented the country. There's a lot of pushback. There's one interview where Sacha Baron Cohen talks about how they were like going to hold a press conference at the Kazakhstan embassy explaining like, hey, this isn't us. You know, Borat isn't a real person. He's a character. Who knew? But then Sacha Baron Cohen crashed that, or he didn't crash their press conference, but he actually called a press conference before theirs as Borat, basically representing the country of Kazakhstan.
I love that.
Yeah, I will. I'll have that linked under additional resources as well because it's a great clip. So let's move on to our next and probably final segment, things that were staged. I don't have much written down. I don't think a whole lot has come out about it yet. So first, the Moonblood dance sequence, where they're at like a cotillion ballroom type thing, that like father-daughter dance. That event was actually, that was booked by Team Borat. The father-daughter duos were paid $100 each. I think each couple was paid $100 to be extras in what they thought was going to be a movie about a formal Southern dance. Little did they know.
Little did they
know that it was going to be a Moonblood dance.
Now that scene actually was, to me, that was just oh god, I did not like that.
And
I knew it was coming. That was staged. I whinged.
The other thing that was staged, the Country Steve bit, the band was actually planted by Team Borat.
They had to grow them from band seeds.
Yeah, if you look very closely, you can see the planters that they're in. And it turns out that the smash hit Wuhan Flu was actually pre-written, even though it seems very impromptu. It was actually very well planned out.
Yeah. I mean, they did good job on like working on making it look like it was just an all of a sudden thing. Impromptu, that's the word. An impromptu thing. Like, for real, I thought that was just something that, just happened.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was just Sacha Baron Cohen crashing this thing, like just, him alone with obviously like his camera crew and everything, but
now,
yeah, I didn't know that the band was part of it.
That raises a big question though, because earlier in the movie, and this is what got to me when you told me that it was fake, because it was like, wait a second, the two rednecks are hillbillies. Those are different. The two rednecks he hangs out with, he lives with for a while, Jerry and Jeff. They're the ones that teach him the song. Like, here's a song we're writing. We want you to play it, and like he plays it for them. And like, yeah.
Well, yeah, that kind of resembles what he ends up singing. But yeah, I wonder if that was actually written by him, or if that was like, if that was planned by Team Borat.
I don't know. Like they had a psychic enter their minds and implant the seeds that would blossom into those ideas beforehand. It's like, here's a song you should write. Jeff, I have an idea. I know what we're gonna do today.
So obviously, Sacha Baron Cohen's career making these movies is a bit of a mixed bag in terms of, the results of the scenes that he does.
Yeah.
Like, of course, for the actor that played Azamat in the first movie, that was really good for his career. He got a lot of jobs after that. But the people that he interviewed were, they didn't take it very well. And one example of like a negative side effect of the first movie was, remember when he crashed the when he was being interviewed on the local news station?
Yeah.
Remember when he was like crashing the weatherman segment?
Yeah.
The person that booked him on the show got fired.
Fuck.
Yeah. So this article, which I will have linked in the description, says, according to Newsweek, Dharma Arthur is claiming that booking Borat on a live noon news show cost her her job. Well, on the show and subsequently in the movie, Borat makes scatological references, kisses the male anchor, stands up so he's out of the screen, and then disrupts the weather report. Arthur, as quoted in Newsweek, says, because of Baron Cohen, my boss lost faith in my abilities and second guessed everything I did thereafter.
Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, Jared, do you I'm curious what your take is on that issue. Like, do you think it's worth it that these movies, as good as they are, have such a destructive impact on some people's lives?
It is, it's a very, I guess, complicated situation because, like, these movies do help, like, showcase some of, like, the problems with America at times, like how some of these people view things, and, like, how some of our politicians are, very obviously sexual predators that we should do something about, but no one is going to. But
hold on, we didn't get into the Giuliani scene.
Yeah,
I just realized.
I was gonna say at the end before we go, I wanted to talk about that. But yeah, that's a good question because it's like, how much do we want to sacrifice of other people who's like are just doing their jobs? Because, like, I don't blame it on Borat for what's happening, like, to they're making a movie and stuff like that. They lied and everything, but, like, when the guy got fired and stuff, it's like, that's the company. Well, like, the company is like, if they don't want mistakes to be made, don't hire a human being, then fuck it.
Yeah, well,
there is a saying, to err is human.
Yeah.
And if one guy accidentally lets Borat on the set.
Yeah, I think luckily inject him with the Wuhan flu. I think
oh my god.
Fortunately, it seems that Sacha Baron Cohen has learned from his mistakes because it's a 14-year gap between the first movie and the second movie.
Yeah.
So, the first movie he left a wake of destruction. Second movie he's like, maybe I don't do that. So that's
don't do that.
That's where you get stuff like him donating $100,000 to a local church. Yeah. And, stuff like that.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, if you didn't learn from that, though, I don't know how much it would be worth it. Because, like, we know America's racist. So do we need to get people fired to make a movie exploring that?
Well, I mean, we know America's racist, but does America know it's racist?
Shit. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the Giuliani scene.
So prominent Republican, he's a Republican senator, right?
He is Donald Trump's lawyer.
That's what it is. A prominent lawyer for Republican President Donald J. Trump is seen in the movie groping himself when he is being solicited by a 15-year-old foreign reporter. And, like, as you said before, there's a scene where Sacha Baron Cohen's character Borat barges in and, is like, hey, fuck me instead. She's only 15. She's too old for you and shit like that.
Yeah.
But, like you said, you feel like he did that because you thought he was going, like, he was trying to stop something that was obviously, going to happen. And I believe you. Because, like, him tucking his shirt in, like, I've tucked in a shirt before, a dress shirt, and it doesn't take that long.
Didn't have to tuck it under your balls.
Yeah, I didn't have to shove my whole hand and lower arm down my pants into my asshole to do it. However, Mr. Giuliani or Rudy, I'm just gonna call him Rudy because his last name is fucking ridiculous for me. Rudolph, Mr. Rudy.
My wife.
He, he just shoved his whole hand down his pants, and he's just like, I'm gonna get fucked by a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like we should address that. I know there's some people talking about it, but, like,
I don't know. I have a bit of a different take on the whole situation. So we can agree that his actions were generally creepy.
Very immoral, also.
Like asking for this woman's address.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that he doesn't know that her character is 15. The actress is 24. She never says her age. She's drinking with him. So
That's a good point.
it wouldn't be outlandish for him to assume that she's above the age of consent, at least.
But still, he has a wife and he's currently facing allegations of cheating, and this is like, you know.
And he's like rubbing her back and stuff.
Yeah. I know someone's gonna be like, oh, she touched his kneecap. That's a clear sign of seduction. It's like, not really.
He's a grown-ass man. He should be able to handle that shit. He's not a 13-year-old boy.
She was wearing a blue dress. She was asking for it.
She was wearing a blue dress. Blue, the color of Democrats.
Get fucked, libtard.
Literally.
I'm going to fuck you, libtard. But yeah, no, it's like, it's just such a fucking creepy scene and shit. And it's like, this is an actual, like, fucking, like, famous in the news right now for shit person. And here's evidence of that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, you know, maybe divorce his ass, put him in jail. Because isn't cheating a crime?
Adultery, I don't know like the legal ramifications of it, but it will land him in trouble with obviously like his wife, and he'll have to probably get a divorce and pay alimony. It's just a whole mess that you don't want to jump through.
Oh yeah, which he has to now. Like if his wife doesn't divorce him, he's lobotomized her.
But yeah, my take on the whole situation is I think he believed that she was a reporter in her 20s. And I think that he thought that she was kind of coming on to him, and he definitely was going to make a move on her. Now, when he had his hand in his pants, when I first saw it before the movie came out, I was like, yeah, he's fondling himself.
Yeah.
But watching the movie, I believe him when he says that he was tucking his shirt in. However, I do not believe that he was only tucking his shirt in.
Yeah. No, I feel ya.
He was asking like for her phone number and address and stuff. He's definitely interested in her. Now, Jared, do you believe that Sacha Baron Cohen, as a filmmaker, would cuck his own content?
No, if he didn't think the actress was in danger, I don't think he would. I think he'd continue.
Yeah, he saw that, you know, this creepy guy is definitely going to be doing something. So I think that's where the issue lies. It's not what he was doing, it's what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And that's I think a lot of people miss that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just him having his hand in his pants the way he did on its own in a vacuum, not a big deal. But coming from him in a bedroom in that context with his history, definitely problematic. And I think that people that are defending him aren't looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Now, another point that another issue that this brings up is how many times has this happened to him? How many times has Rudy Giuliani post interview fucked a reporter, and then, you know, who's to say this hasn't happened, and then someone gets photos like what happened because there were hidden cameras and everything. How many times has this happened to him? How many people have dirt on Rudy Giuliani because he just can't keep his dick in his pants?
And how many of those people aren't sharing that dirt?
Come on. Post them Giuliani nudes.
Yeah, it's like, how many people are out there blackmailing this prominent Republican? This guy that is directly associated with the president.
Yeah.
It's like, really, this is the best security you got? And also, she's not even a real fucking reporter.
Yeah.
She's a reporter being played by a character, being played by a Bolivian actress.
Yeah.
And you see, you don't, you see nothing wrong with letting this man do an interview with someone, and you don't even you don't card them. You don't ask for any kind of identification. It's like you don't do any kind of you don't do any kind of research into this reporter. Like she had for her I guess news media front, whatever, she picked some, generic sounding conservative name like Liberty whatever. But it's like you don't think to look her up and see, her history of like the history of her work. You don't think it's weird like, oh, this woman has only done 0 interviews up to this point. She has no web traffic whatsoever. And we're just going to let her interview the lawyer for the president.
Yeah. That's the best their security can offer. It's only what their security can offer. Like, this is a perfectly reasonable person. I see no harm in this. Have at her, Rudy.
God, Donald Trump and everyone associated with him are such slime balls.
They're having a real tough time convincing me they're not rapists or pedophiles. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think the whole QAnon calling Democrats pedophiles thing, definitely projection.
Yeah, no, 100%. They're just jealous because they think the Dems are getting away with it while they're not.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, there's photographs of Bill Clinton hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, which I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, is bad. The Clintons are bad.
Yeah.
They are corrupt. I just want to get that out of the way.
Oh yeah, no.
Before I get people calling me a Trump supporter.
Really fucking corrupt Democrats and shit.
Yeah.
But
before I get people calling me a Trump supporter, or before I get people
calling you a Clinton supporter, a Clinton simp.
Before I get people calling me
libtard.
Before I get people calling me a libtard and a Clinton supporter and like a blind Democratic follower, the Clintons are bad. They are corrupt. It is bad that Bill Clinton hangs out with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
But it's like when Jeffrey Epstein isn't hanging out with Bill Clinton,
he's hanging out with
Donald Trump.
Yeah. Like, oh, hey, what about that? Huh?
Yep. To the Democrats listening, Trump is bad. So is Bill Clinton. To the Republicans listening, Bill Clinton is bad. So is Trump.
Oh, but also Hillary's emails. Those two. Don't worry, we haven't forgot, boys. We know that's what your priorities are. And Obama's last name? We're still trying to get to the bottom of that.
You know what? The whole Hillary Clinton email thing, it's just like the whole cuties controversy that we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
how
like
conservatives took over that issue.
But it's like not a big deal.
Conservatives made that like their issue. So like if you as a leftist or a progressive bring up like, hey, isn't it kind of weird that Hillary Clinton is using like her personal email and like a private email server that can be easily hacked for, like sensitive like government stuff?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it a little weird that she's doing that?
But here's
then
the thing,
you get people calling you a Trump supporter.
The thing though about that though that gets to me though is that whole ordeal with her emails and shit like that is like not that big of a deal when you remember she's like 90 fucking years old and probably doesn't know what a computer really is. Like, yeah, she probably mistakenly did that, but that's also she's also the person that advocated for like the murder of gay people and like the deaths of many soldiers.
She was only like in her like early 60s when that happened, I think.
Yeah, and like the computer were probably also in their early 60s.
Look, if Trump can manage a Twitter account, Hillary Clinton should be able to manage an email account.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying though, it's like I don't think Clinton's really paying attention to how to use a computer when she's basically executing POWs. Meanwhile, Trump, on the other hand,
Fucking
what has he done besides
Benghazi.
play golf or go on Twitter? I haven't seen Trump use any other website than Twitter. I think he thinks that's what the internet is.
He probably has like a phone that he uses for phone calls. Then he uses like he has like a phone for Twitter.
And the family picture book is for porn.
Kind of like your setup.
Wow. I don't use the family picture book for porn. I use
But
the
you
yearbook.
do have you do have is that why my name was circled so many times?
What?
No,
No.
is that why my picture was circled so many times in the
Why would I
yearbook?
be circling it?
To bookmark it?
Oh. It's
I don't
when
know,
the
just go with
pictures
it.
of
Just
me
go with the
were
bit.
always stuck together.
Oh,
If I could clone myself, I would totally rape myself.
Jared, I just want to end the show now.
I have taken control. My tendrils have wrapped around this pathetic podcast. It is now my show.
Jared, final thoughts? Thank you for that.
Welcome. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I feel like, though, again, there's some stuff we should address more publicly, but Borat 2 wasn't bad. I recommend you watch it. Also, by the way, it's called Borat Subsequent Movie Film, not Borat 2. I learned that the hard way when I tried to find Borat 2 and couldn't find it. No one told me it wasn't labeled Borat 2.
I like the longer title. Hold on,
It fits
gotta
the
find it.
theme. Borat 2 Subsequent Movie Film is what it's called. I know this now because, like, again, I had to try and figure out what the fuck it was called.
Okay, so the full title is Borat Subsequent Movie Film: Delivery of Prodigious Bride to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
That's the full title.
Yep.
I love that. It reminds me of Henry Darger's books.
For those who don't understand who Henry Darger is, please look him up. He was a very bizarre artist who was also kind of crazy, but, like, you know.
Like all artists.
He was like Picasso, except weirder. But, you know, I want people to know some of these weird folks, because I will talk about him in a later episode of the podcast. I got real into looking up like bizarre people. I also want to talk about the guy that may have eaten a baby.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm talking about actual historical things. There is a guy that had an insatiable
We'll get into that in a
appetite.
different episode.
Okay. But yeah,
So-
no, a child fucking disappeared and, like, no one knows where they went, but he kind of looked a little sus.
Yikes. All right, so my final thoughts are the movie was pretty good. Definitely worth a watch. Lives up to the hype of the original. Don't believe all the controversy surrounding it because some of it is just in bad faith.
Or it's just actually invented for the fucking movie.
Rudy Giuliani is a creep, and so is Donald Trump.
Yeah. All right. Good
right, so-
afternoon, good evening, and go fuck yourself.
Hold on,
Goodbye,
we
everyone.
have to do the rest of the outro.
I know.
This has been a review for Borat Subsequent Movie Film: Delivery of Prodigious Bride to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
All in one take.
If you like today's episode, please like, share, subscribe, comment,
Dominate.
whatever your platform allows. Please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Share with a friend that you think will like this show. Even if you personally didn't like it, there's probably someone that you know that will like it. So share it with everyone. Download all of our episodes. It's good for analytics. Our social media is linked in the description, so if you disagreed with anything we said during today's show, you can yell at us there.
We'll probably ignore it.
If you are listening on YouTube, you can leave a comment telling us what you want to see us cover next. You can also yell at us there if you disagreed with anything. Statistically, you probably did. I think that's everything. If you are crazy, donate to our donation link down below. We don't offer anything. Full transparency. We are thinking of starting selling merch. Jared does some
Oh.
drawings of a particular character that I'm a fan of.
Bert.
It's original character Bert. So we might do that
I
at
gotta
some
get
point.
back in the practice of drawing Bert. He's intangible to me still.
And we will use him for monetary purposes.
I would, I'd be down for that. I just
I
am
want
happy to
Bird on a
share
shirt.
Bird on a shirt. The Bert shirt.
Hashtag Bird on a shirt.
And remember, ladies, I am single and smell like dog shit, so
Do with that what you
can't
will.
go wrong there. Now remember, in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and go fuck yourself.